In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 MLB games happening on June 24th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Arizona Diamondbacks versus Chicago White Sox. The Arizona Diamondbacks and Chicago White Sox are set for the second game of their series on Tuesday night at Wrigley Field. Looking at the season-long trends for these teams, you see two completely different stories when it comes to scoring. Arizona's games have leaned toward the over this season, and it's easy to see why. They have one of the most productive offenses in the league, averaging over 5 runs per game whether they're at home or on the road. This leads to their games having an average total of more than 10 runs. On the flip side, Chicago's games have consistently gone under the total. The White Sox have one of the league's worst offenses, struggling to average even 3.5 runs per contest. At home, their scoring ticks up slightly, but their games still feature much lower totals on average. Despite these trends, both starting pitchers in this matchup have shown some vulnerability, and both lineups are capable of putting runs on the board. I've tried to give the White Sox the benefit of the doubt a few times this season, and it has burned me every single time. At this point, I'm back to simply betting against them, as the team has been a complete mess. Arizona will have Ryan Nelson on the mound, and he has been quietly effective this year with a 3.88 earned run average and a sharp 1.08 WHIP. He's been particularly dialed in lately, allowing 1 run or fewer in 6 of his last 8 starts. For a Diamondbacks team that is right in the middle of a heated wild card race, these are the kinds of games they absolutely have to win to stay in contention. I just can't find a reason to back the White Sox in their current state. The Diamondbacks are the much better ball club, and their lineup is especially potent against right-handed pitching, which they'll see tonight. The White Sox offense is completely dormant right now. They couldn't even manage to score a single run in the series opener on Monday. It wouldn't be surprising at all to see a repeat performance here, but regardless of how many they score, I'm confident the Diamondbacks will find a way to get another victory. To put it simply, the White Sox are a bad baseball team right now. The betting price on the Diamondbacks is more than fair for the clear favorites. As our first pick for this matchup, the Arizona Diamondbacks money line is our full game side pick. Seattle Mariners versus Minnesota Twins. The Seattle Mariners and the Minnesota Twins are back at it for the second game of their 4-game series on Tuesday. Seattle is definitely carrying the momentum right now, especially after the Twins were just swept off their home turf by the Brewers. The bigger factor here is the pitching matchup. The Mariners are sending the better arm to the mound, with Luis Castillo looking much more impressive lately. In a recent win against the Guardians, Castillo was sharp, striking out 7 batters over 6 innings of work. On the other side, Chris Paddack has been struggling for the Twins, losing 4 of his last 5 starts. With catcher Cal Raleigh playing like an MVP and the entire Mariners lineup putting up big numbers, things are looking good for Seattle. Minnesota has already slid to 4th place in their division, and I expect that slide to continue tonight. As our first pick for this matchup, the Seattle Mariners money line is our full game side pick. This is game 2 of a 4-game set, and while the Twins were just involved in a high-scoring series with Milwaukee, expect things to tighten up here. That's because the pitching is solid on both sides. Seattle is starting Castillo, who has punched out 72 batters in 85 innings this season and should have no problem keeping the Minnesota bats quiet on the road. Don't forget how Paddack pitched the last time he faced the Mariners. He was dominant, striking out 10 batters over 8 innings while giving up just a single run. Yes, Seattle's offense just exploded for 14 runs against the Cubs, but that kind of production isn't sustainable and has been an outlier for them this season. Expect them to come back down to earth in a much lower scoring contest this time around. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Tampa Bay Rays versus Kansas City Royals. On Tuesday evening, the Tampa Bay Rays and the Kansas City Royals kick off a 3-game American League Series. If you look at how these two starting pitchers have fared this month, it's clear they are on different paths. For the Rays, Taj Bradley has really been struggling in June, posting an ugly 7.16 earned run average and a 1.71 WHIP over his 4 starts. Chris Bubic, on the other hand, has been more steady for the Royals, and despite a 1-2 record, his 4.86 earned run average is much more manageable. Another interesting angle is how these teams handle their at-bats. The Royals have been one of the best teams in baseball at avoiding double plays, which helps them keep innings alive and build rallies. Tampa Bay is just average in that department. It's also worth remembering that the Royals already swept the Rays in Tampa earlier this year. I just can't get behind Taj Bradley with the way he's been pitching lately. While I've been down on the Royals' inconsistent offense before, Bubic has been one of their more reliable arms, and I think he gives them what they need to get the win at home. As our first pick for this matchup, the Kansas City Royals money line is our full game side pick. This game's run total looks way too low, making it hard to feel good about betting the under, especially considering Taj Bradley's recent form. The Rays starter has been getting knocked around in his 9 night games this season, carrying a 5.72 earned run average and a 1.58 WHIP into this one. He's also coming off his shortest and worst outing of the year, which doesn't inspire much confidence. The Royals lineup isn't exactly a powerhouse, but they are certainly good enough to punish a pitcher who is making mistakes. On top of Bradley's issues, the Tampa Bay bullpen has been surprisingly vulnerable to the home run ball, having allowed 33 of them, which is among the most in the majors. The betting line opened at 9 runs and has since been bet down to 8.5, but that small move doesn't make the under any more appealing. With such a shaky starter on the mound for the visitors, there's a lot more reason to expect a high-scoring game here. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Pittsburgh Pirates versus Milwaukee Brewers. The Pittsburgh Pirates and Milwaukee Brewers continue their 3-game series on Tuesday night. While Andrew Heaney has been decent for the Pirates this season, he's run into some trouble recently, getting hit around for 21 hits and 13 runs over his last 21.2 innings pitched. His performance also tends to drop off when he's away from home, where his earned run average climbs to 4.85. And opponents are hitting .234 against him. On the other side, Freddie Peralta has been dealing for the Brewers, giving up just 14 hits and 7 runs in his last 23 innings of work, contributing to his sparkling 2.76 earned run average and 1.11 WHIP for the season. He's been practically unhittable at home, pitching to a minuscule 1.32 earned run average and holding batters to a .185 average in 41 innings. Peralta is pitching like a guy who should be making his second trip to the All-Star game this year. This is the second time these division rivals have squared off this season, after they split a 4-game set in Pittsburgh about a month ago, though neither of tonight's starters pitched in that series. The two clubs are trending in completely different directions right now. The Pirates are sinking further down the standings while the Brewers are climbing. Milwaukee has their ace Peralta on the mound, and he's been automatic at home with a perfect 4-0 record and that tiny 1.32 earned run average over 7 starts. He gets a favorable matchup against one of the most ineffective offenses in the league. The Pirates' bats go silent on the road, where they are hitting just .210 as a team and have scored the fewest runs in the National League. It's also worth noting that Pittsburgh's last 5 losses have come by an average of nearly 3 runs per game. The Brewers are simply the superior team in this spot. As our first pick for this matchup, the Milwaukee Brewers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Pirates consistently have a hard time scoring, and runs will be even tougher to manufacture tonight against Freddie Peralta, who has surrendered just 6 earned runs in 41 innings at his home ballpark this season. The Brewers ace doesn't beat himself, having issued only 2 home runs and 10 walks at American Family Field all year, so he rarely gives away free opportunities. As mentioned before, the Pirates have pushed across only 116 runs on the road this season, and their offense has been particularly cold lately, scoring 3 runs or fewer in 8 of their last 10 games. The only potential threat to a low-scoring game is the Brewers' offense, which has exploded for 8 or more runs in 4 straight contests. However, that trend is unlikely to continue, as they tend to hit much better on the road. At home, their lineup bats just .219, the worst mark in the league, and they've scored a modest 136 runs. In their most recent homestand, they were held to 3 runs or less in 6 out of 10 games. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Chicago Cubs versus St. Louis Cardinals. The Chicago Cubs and St. Louis Cardinals, two old rivals at the top of the National League Central, are playing the second game of a four-game series on Tuesday. These two clubs couldn't be on more different paths right now. Even though Chicago has the better record for the season, the Cardinals are the team to look at, especially playing at home. St. Louis has been on a tear, winning 6 of their last 7 games, while the Cubs have stumbled, dropping 4 of their last 5. The Cardinals have also been tough to beat at their home park all year, posting a solid 25-15 record. St. Louis is giving the ball to Michael McGreevy, who has looked extremely sharp in his 3 starts this season. He's boasting a 2.7 earned run average and a tiny 0.84 WHIP over 16.2 innings of work. With the Cardinals' offense firing on all cylinders and scoring an average of 6.3 runs per game during this hot streak, McGreevy should get plenty of support to help his team get another win. As our first pick for this matchup, the St. Louis Cardinals money line is our full game side pick. While I'm confident McGreevy will pitch well enough to lead his team to a victory, I don't see him completely shutting down this Cubs lineup. He's facing an offense that ranks as the second best in all of baseball, putting up an impressive 5.42 runs per game. Chicago's bats have been especially hot over the last week, ranking 3rd in the league in key offensive metrics like WOBA and leading all teams in isolated power with a staggering .333 mark. On the other side, the Cardinals' offense is more than capable of putting up a crooked number themselves. Their current lineup has a history of success against the Cubs starter, Jameson Taillon, hitting a collective .312 against him over a large sample size of 128 at-bats. Throw in a slight 4.5 miles per hour breeze blowing out to left field, and you have a recipe for both offenses to find success and put plenty of runs on the board. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.